Hey guys, we're live. Yay! Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching from. Hey, hey guys in the chat. I see you. I see you. I am April with astrologer.com, and I am here with your weekly astrology from the 6th through the, or I'm sorry, from the 9th through the 16th of June. This year is flowing by so fast. I'm like, wait, May, what? No, okay. It's June 9th through June 16th, from this Friday to next Friday. The weekly astrology, what's going on with the astrological weather, and also a coffee talk. The coffee talk portion is where I go over some celebrity astrology stuff or stuff that's like in the news that I find interesting, and giving some astrological explanations for what's going on or why a certain person may be in the media, the news, the headlines right now. So today's coffee talk, I'll just let you guys know ahead of time, because I always tell people, hey, if you don't really care for the celebrity stuff, you know, once I'm done with the astrology and horoscope stuff, then you can just tune out. But sometimes maybe they don't know who or what I'm going to talk about. This is Gemini season. The sun is in Gemini, Mercury's in Gemini, and there are a lot of great artists that were born during Gemini season. Like, we just had Prince's birthday a couple days ago. It would have been his birthday. And next Friday, the 16th, is Tupac Shakur's birthday. And there's going to be a release of a movie that's based on his life. And also, we just had the release of the Wonder Woman movie, and there's some interesting little astrological tidbits that are associated with the release of that movie, the release date that I want to share. So those are the things I'm going to talk about in the coffee talk at the end. And yes, I always usually have an interesting mug. I have shown this one before, maybe like a couple months ago. Yes, it does have a skull, but it is like a Day of the Dead, a Dia de los Muertos skull. But I'm a Scorpio rising, as most of you know by now. I've said it so many times, so this is why this is why I have I'm intrigued by stuff like this. So hopefully it doesn't scare some of you. Rick says it makes him nervous. Hey, I'm not drinking blood or anything. This is actually hot water with lemon, okay? So it's completely harmless. So, you know, get your own cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever, settle in, and let's talk about the astrological weather forecast for the next week. So what's going on that is the most important is, number one, today on the 9th is a full moon in Sagittarius, 18 degrees in Sagittarius. So the moon is at 18 degrees, and then we have Saturn close by at about 24 degrees of Sagittarius. So this is what I would count, because different astrologers use different orbs of distance between planets to count them as conjunctions, but I count it as a conjunction. Also, the full moon is receiving other supporting aspects from other planets, lots of other planets. Like we have Jupiter. Let's see, yeah, Jupiter is sextile the moon, and then we have the moon trine Uranus, and but it's like a wide degree, and then we also have the moon trine the North Node. So it's involved in this little grand fire trine that we have going on, but also it's in a square to Neptune. Okay, so there's so many aspects to this full moon. Possible big earthquake or volcanic eruption with these alignments. You know what, Rick? I haven't thought about that. I'm not the best at like world prediction astrology. I know that Trifon on our network, he is like a master at that. So that might be a question for him. So yeah, there is the full moon today. So it is in Sagittarius. It's the moon in Sag, and then the sun in Gemini. Okay, so we've got an opposition between the two. I'm not going to go through each sign for the full moon, because I already did that on your June monthly horoscopes, which are up on Lotta's channel. So go check them out. But yeah, a full moon today. I mean, this is like Sagittarius energy, which is very freedom loving, happy go lucky. It's all about travel. I know a few people that are just happening to be making big travel plans, like leaving today, you know. And of course, a lot of people are traveling during this time of year, I know. But yeah, but still, you know, it's all about travel, furthering your mind, and trying to have an optimistic attitude about things, trying to see the bright side of things. And so that's Sagittarius energy. That's where the full moon is at. It was exact this morning at about a little after 6 a.m. Pacific time, if you want to know the exact time. So we're still in that window of like the strength of the full moon, like, you know, really beaming upon us, that energy beaming upon us. So yeah, we have the full moon today. And remember, the effects of the full moons usually last from the full moon until like the next lunar event, which will be the new moon in Cancer in a couple of weeks, which I will talk about in detail then. But also, yes, Jupiter in Libra. Jupiter's direct in Libra, and I am going to go through all the signs with this. I did mention this on your monthly videos too, but I really love Jupiter so much. So we have Jupiter, the ruling planet of the full moon in Sagittarius, now moving direct. So there's like extra Jupiter energy. So hopefully everybody is feeling good and feeling like abundant and, you know, what's the other word I'm looking for? It's early. I need a drink. Hold on. Yes, hopefully everybody is feeling great and feeling grateful, because Jupiter energy and Sagittarius energy are about feeling grateful. Grateful for what you have, you know, and grateful for who you have in your life. And just, if you know any people who have Sagittarius energy, well, most of the ones I know, they smile a lot. They smile very big smiles. They seem to have an attitude as if nothing is wrong in their world. You know, it's like everything is awesome. That song that was from the Lego movie, it reminds me of Sagittarius people. Everything is awesome. That's their attitude all the time. They always say they don't like negativity around them. They like everything to be happy and sunshine. And, you know, I just love Sagittarius energy. You know, like if you have a lot of heavy energy, fixed energy in your chart, it is good to be around Sagittarian energy, because they are very like, just, hey, you know, they're out there, they're spontaneous, they can bring you on adventures. If you're like, well, no, this must be planned, you know, like I'm all about planning and stuff, and my Sag friends are the ones that will call and say, let's just go, let's just do this, let's go on this random trip, it's going to be fun. I don't know how we're going to get there, I don't know where we're going to come up with the money, but we're just going to do it. And they jump and fly and they just go and they make things happen like magic, it seems like. So this full moon in Sag, Jupiter moving direct, hopefully it's sprinkling a little bit of that energy upon you guys, you know, to smile more, to be grateful, to feel abundant no matter what you have or don't have. You know, a lot of us can focus on what we don't have, but, you know, look around you, be grateful. You're alive, you're breathing. If you have a roof over your head, be grateful. You know, you have clean water or coffee to drink, you know, feel grateful. That's what I feel like Sagittarian energy represents. And that's why Sagittarius, and I don't get too deep into this stuff because then it sparks up controversial, touchy conversations. But Sagittarius is one of the signs that rule religion. Okay, I would say Sag and Pisces. It's spirituality. It's having strong spirit connection. Sagittarius is very spirited and grateful, and that's why they rule religion, because people turn to religion and spirituality to give them that faith in a brighter day. Like when you're feeling down, you got to have like belief. Hey guys, sorry about that. Um, I think my signal might be weak because the kids are home and on their devices, so I need to tell them turn off the Wi-Fi on their devices because it's kind of messing with mommy's work here. So anyway, yeah, Sag energy is about, you know, having faith and turning to something to have a belief in a brighter day, to help you to feel optimistic about life and uplift you. So I find that Sagittarian people can really do that. You know, they can uplift people. They're freedom loving. So anyhow, tap into that energy, you know, hang out with some Sagittarian friends. They're probably like super saggy right now and smiling and laughing and, you know, wanting to do adventurous stuff and just do random stuff. So, yes, you know what, Sally? I actually did upgrade my internet. I upgraded the modem. I upgraded all kinds of stuff, but whatever. Hopefully it doesn't cut out again. Sorry about that, guys. But anyhow, yes, optimism and faith and being grateful is what the Sagittarian full moon and Jupiter direct is all about. So I will go through every sign now for Jupiter direct. I'm so excited for Jupiter going direct. You know, wherever Jupiter travels, for those who are unaware or need a reminder, wherever Jupiter travels, it brings great blessings. It brings great abundance. But I'm going to be real with you guys. Jupiter's energy is about expansion, okay? So, excuse me, expansion cannot always be a good thing, depending upon where Jupiter's transit is. Expansion can mean like too much of something or over and indulgence in something. Yes, Cox, I'm gonna have to have a talk with Cox Cable again, Cox Internet. But yeah, it's about expansion, and expansion can sometimes be overdoing it, you know. So wherever Jupiter transits, we can be kind of overdoing it in that area too if we're not careful. But you know what? The expansion part is, I'm so excited about it. So let me go through all the signs. Let me take a sip real quick, okay? Okay, so let's start with Aries. Where is Jupiter direct going to be affecting you and bringing you blessings? Because Jupiter is going to be direct through the rest of its transit through Libra and up until the beginning of the year in 2018 in Scorpio. It's not going to go retrograde until next like winter, spring-ish, okay? So the blessings will be flowing. So for Aries, this Jupiter transit through Libra going direct is going to bring you more blessings when it comes to relationships. Relations. Sherman want to have relations. Sorry about that. Maybe more relations may be brought to you, Aries. You know, take that how you want to take it. But relationships. I find that when Jupiter transits through someone's 7th house, it can bring, you know, not just one relationship. It can bring like, if you're single, it could bring different people to you, like lots of different potential suitors, okay? Like people that want to date you and it's like, wow, where are they coming from, you know, out of nowhere. So yes, I'm talking about ascendant, sun, or moon, okay? But yeah, like it can expand on relationships to where all these different partners pop up. You may be in and out of relationships, especially for Aries because you guys have Uranus in your sign right now, in your sign. So you guys can have a tendency to be on again, off again with many different things in your life and change your mind like that with the flash of lightning, which your Uranus rules lightning and electricity. So you could just get a buzz, you know, of energy and just feel like, okay, I'm going to change something, you know. So that's how Uranus is affecting you. But yeah, Jupiter in your 7th house could have been on again, off again stuff. Or there could be, like I said, a lot of potential suitors, a lot of people wanting to date you. Or, you know, Jupiter in the 7th house is one of the transits that can bring someone popularity amongst lots of different people and being in high demand amongst a lot of people. Like people wanting to just hang out with you. It doesn't have to be dating, you know, just people are like, oh, Aries is so great. You know, you're an awesome person, Aries, and having a good reputation amongst groups of people. This can also help you with business partnerships, getting together, collaborating. So if there's any Aries people that collaborate on social media or any type of job where you're like dealing with the public, collaborations are really hot right now for Aries people. So yeah, that's how Jupiter direct is going to be affecting Aries. So next for Taurus, Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, Jupiter direct in Libra. How is it affecting you? So this is in the 6th house for Taurus, okay? The 6th house is work and health. Excuse me. So as far as work, let's start there. Jupiter expands, okay? So I have seen Jupiter in the 6th house give a few different job opportunities to Tauruses that, you know, maybe they even got like fired from somewhere and then they get a new job somewhere else that brings them so much more joy, much more abundance, much more money. I've seen that happen with this transit before of Jupiter in the 6th house. Or it could be that you just have better luck within the job sphere, like stay at a steady job. But now more opportunities come to you, opportunities to grow, because Jupiter is about growth, right? So more opportunities to grow may come to some Taurus people once it goes direct. When it comes to health, Taurus, this could be a time where either you are expanding the goodness of your health, the positives of your health, taking care of yourself better, having a better knowledge and understanding of health, because Jupiter does rule higher knowledge. And guru figures, so maybe finding a good doctor to help you to better your health in whatever specific area that you're concerned with or focused on. But also the expansion part with health, this can also have some not so great effects, which I have seen play out for people as well, where, you know, Jupiter does rule indulgence overdoing it. So I have seen Jupiter in the 6th, people actually gain weight during that time because they're overdoing it with habits, because the 6th house is habits. Habits like, you know, of, you know, Jupiter, it wants more and more and more, and it thinks, oh, there's plenty, and it doesn't really want to worry about the consequences of tomorrow. So it can overdo it with eating, with sweets, sugar, anything that can make you expand, which it rules too, on your weight, or, you know, like with your health, with the habits, with not being in very healthy habits. You could be in the habit of overindulgence, pretty much is what I'm saying. So it's really up to you, Taurus, how you use this energy, but it's definitely going to be continuing to bring blessings and expansion in the area of health and work. So now for Gemini, this Jupiter transit of Libra direct for Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant is in your 5th house. Ooh, Gemini, hold on. So Gemini, the 5th house is romance, romantic casual dating, romantic partners. So expansion in that area, you can have a lot of different people trying to date you during this time. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Anyhow, so for Gemini, Jupiter in the 5th house, it can expand the area of dating and have a lot more dating partners. No, I wasn't taken by aliens, Rick. I'm still here. So lots of dates, expanding on the romance, that could be fun. Fun. The 5th house does rule fun. It's like doing lots and lots of fun things, fun activities, wanting to just, you know, the fifth house is associated with the heart chakra, whatever brings you great joy. So expanding on that, having more of that. But also remember, Jupiter rules travel. And the fifth house is things that you do for leisure and for hobbies. So a lot of Geminis could be traveling a lot more. You can proceed with that. It can increase during this time. So also, the fifth house rules children, like even the conception of children. So if some Gemini ascendant, Gemini moon, you're trying to conceive, you just may succeed during this Jupiter transit when it's moving direct. The chances may be higher. If you're not trying to do that, watch yourself, Gemini. That's all I have to say about that. So now Cancer, the direct movement of Jupiter in Libra for Cancer, sun, moon, or ascendant is occurring in your fourth house. Yeah, the fourth house of home and family. This is Cancer energy. This is the Cancer house, okay? The fourth house, because Cancers are the fourth sign. So this is like really good for Cancers. It's like you're in your home base, home energy with the Jupiter expansion there. So some Cancers may be wanting to expand on their home, literally like build onto their home. Or they may want to move to a bigger home because Jupiter is all about bigger. So expanding to a bigger house. It's family, so maybe expanding your family in some sort of way. Maybe moving family members in to your house, moving them out, or maybe even like you guys could be another sign that may want to have a baby this year. You know, like you guys maybe want to expand your family that way to conceive a child and bring more children in. This can also mean travel with your family or travel abroad to see family if you have family abroad or further away in a different state or something like that. But yeah, definitely expanding on your sense of comfort and whatever family means to you, Cancer, it's going to continue and it's going to keep growing and it's going to bring more blessings throughout the rest of this year. Well, actually through October of this year. So yes, girl, get some plan B if you're a Gemini. Anyhow, next up is Leo. So Jupiter direct in Libra for Leo sun, moon, or ascendant is happening in your third house. So Jupiter in the third house can mean a few different things. I've seen Jupiter in the third and actually Jupiter in the fourth too, because the fourth house rules property. The third house is how you travel short distances. Okay, so I've seen both of those bring people like a new vehicle. Okay, so some things like that can happen. So for either Cancer or Leo, new vehicle possibly, a bigger vehicle maybe. Also, since Jupiter's travel, the third house is also travel, but it's traveling short distances. Maybe Leos can proceed to travel some short distances, but like go a little bit further than usual. Not too far away, but like, you know, expand on where you go to like explore your town or your city a lot more. Just going different places that you haven't been, but like in the vicinity of where you live. You know what I mean? Also, this can bring people who are Leos more opportunities when it comes to things like broadcasting and publishing, okay? Like if you want to publish a website, if you want to be, it's also writing and communication. So if you want to expand on that, Leo, like some opportunities may be brought to you. Maybe start up blogging or vlogging or writing articles. If you want something like that published and you are a Leo, then Jupiter moving direct, it can maybe help to bring some greater like expansion of that or like some new opportunities. So pretty exciting for Leos. Okay, so for Virgos, this is really good news for Virgos, Jupiter moving direct because it's in your second house. And the second house, it rules money. Virgos, you guys are the sign that rules work, so I'm sure you guys love that. Jupiter may expand on your income. Maybe you guys, when Jupiter was retrograde, it could have slowed it down or slowed down the opportunities. But now it's moving forward. And it's like you guys may have opportunities to make more money through either a job that you already have, maybe a new job, or a second job, or turning a hobby or like something that you like to do on the side. you can turn that into a way to make some side money, you know, a little side business going on. So that's awesome news for Virgo. So more money, but also Jupiter in the second house. This is another area where Jupiter can maybe not do the best things for you if you overdo it, because it can turn some of you guys into hoarders. Okay, just I'm 100% honest. Like, the second house is accumulating and acquiring material possessions. Okay, so with Jupiter expanding on that, you could be a little bit more like, you know, like overdoing it. Okay, with bringing in a lot more material stuff. That may not be a bad thing for some of you, but some people can go overboard. That's an area where you can go overboard. Also, the second house does rule what we ingest. It does rule, food is part of the material world, material things and the five senses and all that stuff that the second house rules. So some Virgos may like overdo that too, you know, with Jupiter now moving direct. So just watch that. Somebody's asking if you guys can win some money if you're a Virgo. The second house is not winnings, it's earnings. I would associate winning money with maybe the fifth house is gambling and speculation. And so maybe Geminis may have better luck with that. Or the eighth house, Jupiter in the eighth house in Libra for Pisces risings or Pisces, they can maybe grow with like money, like winning money, have better chances, better luck there. Okay, so that's it for Virgo. So now on to Libra. Jupiter and Libra in your sign, moving direct for Libra sun, moon, or ascendant. This can bring expansion, I mean, anywhere in life. Like, it can proceed to move forward now, I mean, now that it's direct. So for Libra, you know, Jupiter rules travel and higher knowledge, and I have some Jupiter risings around me, some Libra risings close to me that are friends, so we're always in contact with each other. And it's funny, they have the same things going on, which is like wanting to travel more, okay, wanting to travel because Jupiter rules travel, but also wanting to spread knowledge to people. I've seen that too, wanting to spread knowledge, searching for higher meaning is also Jupiter. So a lot of Libras may be those type of people that are searching for higher meaning. What's the meaning of life? Why are we here, you know? And how can we make this a better place? How can we exist here, but not just exist, but live? What is living about? Experiencing. So a lot of Libras want to experience more of life with Jupiter moving direct in their sign. I would say Libras too. And Libra is one of the signs that really care about their appearance. So Jupiter is expansion, so it may expand your body. The first house rules the body, okay? So Libra risings especially, and Libra suns, I would say. Actually, the moon too, because the moon rules like our comfort and eating habits. It can show that too. So Jupiter in your sign, Libra, it can expand the waistline, I'm just saying. So if you are concerned about that, you may want to watch for the tendency to overindulge and overdo it when it comes to food that can make your weight balloon up, you know. So just watch that, Libras. Now into Scorpio. Jupiter direct in Libra for Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising sign. This is in your 12th house. So this is an area where Scorpios can have, you know, I wish I could remember who said this so I can credit them and reference them. But, you know, another great person, astrologer or, you know, spiritual person that I listened to before, I wish I could remember who it was. But I remember them saying that Jupiter in the 12th house is like, kind of like having like unseen forces looking out for you, like a guardian angel looking out for you. And I've found that to be true. Absolutely true as a Scorpio rising during this Jupiter and Libra transit. And also, you may receive more knowledge and wisdom through your dreams when you're sleeping at night, Scorpios, okay? You can receive more messages from relatives or loved ones that have passed on in the spirit world. You can also receive messages from, if you believe in the angelic realm, you know, this is a good time to tap into that and you know, seek higher wisdom through those avenues as well. So also, yeah, this is just maybe expanding on your spirituality, learning. Jupiter is about learning. So maybe learning more about spirituality and beliefs and what you believe in. And but it's more like not the strict religious stuff. It's more like the spiritual, like all is love and everything is love and all that type of stuff. Like we don't follow a strict handbook of how to love and how to be a great person. You know, we're just tapping into that energy intuitively and learning about it. It's more that type of spirituality that Scorpios are learning a lot more about and can really truly benefit from, and to help Scorpios become even more of like the healers and transformers that they really are. Now, Jupiter in the 12th house, unfortunately, it does rule escapism. Escapism, actually on the positive note, escapism through faraway travel. Some of the Scorpio risings and Scorpios may be doing that a lot more once Jupiter turns direct. But also, it's an expansion and overindulgence in escapism. So maybe some negative avenues of escapism. Some Scorpios may be more prone to that during this, the rest of this Jupiter transit. So I would say definitely, I don't recommend those things, but you know, some may be sensitive to that. So just be aware and mindful of that, Scorpio. So now Sagittarius, Jupiter direct in Libra for Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant. This is in your 11th house. This is really good energy for Sag. Sag is all about freedom. Sags are really out there people. And I don't mean out there like cuckoo, but I mean they put themselves out there. They're not shy. They're fiery. They're like action oriented. They're all about freedom, right? And they're you know, they're all about that stuff. So anyway, Jupiter in the 11th house for Sagittarius, this can be expanding upon your circles and your groups and the networks that you associate yourself with, Sagittarius. So I have seen Jupiter in the 11th house be another one of those transits where people become quite popular. They become popular, especially if you're a social media Sag or Sag rising. You can expand even more, like, because the 11th house rules the internet, right? That's networking. So you guys can really expand on that. Start getting yourself out there more. This is also like websites. So if you want to maybe publish a website, Sagittarius, and get yourself out there more, this is a good time to do that as well. So networking. Also just groups of friends. If you're not trying to network, you're not trying to do business stuff, this is a time where you can just start meeting more groups of friends that you really relate to and that you really feel at home and comfortable with. Like, oh my, like I always say, the 11th house is the house of my fellow aliens. Like, you're unique, you're an individual, but yet you find groups of people that are unique like you. And I know that like can confuse the heck out of people. The 11th house energy and Aquarius energy is kind of confusing like that, but it's absolutely true. It does apply right now to Sagittariuses. You guys can really expand on that and like meet a lot of new friends, have a lot of great experiences, maybe travel and meet a lot more people, have a lot more foreign friends incorporated into your circle. All of those things will be, you know, much more like having much more growth during Jupiter direct. So next up is Capricorn. For Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising, how is Jupiter direct in Libra going to affect you? What is it bringing more of? It's bringing more of expansion when it comes to career. Oh my gosh, Caps are so much about their career and their public image. You know, that may not even be a career, but just how they're seen publicly, whether or not they're seen as a respectable citizen, a good citizen of, you know, society or whatever. Capricorns, they hold that very high, okay, to a high degree. It's important to them. So an expansion there can mean great opportunities are being brought to you to further yourself in life in general, but also your career. Capricorns may gain more higher positions of like authority or just a higher position. It doesn't have to be of authority within the job that you're in. Maybe greater, better job opportunities, career opportunities can come to Capricorn people. Since Jupiter is about learning and expanding your knowledge, maybe some knowledge in an area. You can go to school, even though school is more the ninth house, but Jupiter and the ninth house are like similar. So if Jupiter is schooling and higher knowledge, and the 10th house is like career, maybe you guys can go back and earn, or you may be achieving and earning something, some sort of plaque, some sort of like, you know, certificate or degree or something of completion, to where now you can move to the next level with career, which is awesome for Capricorns. I'm so excited for you guys because I know it's like so important to a lot of Capricorns. So now on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, Jupiter is in your ninth house. It's like, you know, Aquarius and Sagittarius are having this kind of mutual reception thing going on with the Jupiter transit, because Jupiter is in the Aquarian house for Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and it's in the Sagittarian house for Aquarians. I hope that made sense to some of you. If it didn't, I'm sorry. But Aquarians are having more opportunities to expand their knowledge, to travel, to meet new people, connect foreign people. But also you guys are another group that is going to be focused on higher learning when it comes to like just like expanding on your knowledge and looking for deeper meaning of life, just of life. You know, what is the meaning of this? Why are we here? And all that stuff. Aquarian people could be some of another group that's really going through that right now, which is awesome. And just lots and lots of travel. I hope that's what you guys are experiencing, because it's really fun, at least to me. I think it's fun to travel. Broadening your horizons, Aquarius. Anything that you feel broadens your horizons, broadens your mind, your world, is going to proceed to grow even more when it comes to Aquarius people. And also going back to school. You know, some Aquarians may decide, you know what, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to, you know, expand my knowledge that way, or work under a guru, work as an apprentice to help you to move to the next level. Because let me tell you guys, Aquarius, you guys are next in line in October when Jupiter moves into Scorpio in your 10th house of career. What comes before that is the 9th house of learning and higher knowledge. So, and training for something, for a career. So yeah, Aquarians, really get your, you know, your education on, get your expansion of the mind on, so that when it's career time, starting in October, you guys will be so sharp and opportunities will just flow to you. So last but definitely not least, Pisces. How is Jupiter direct in the sign of Libra going to affect Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant? Okay, this is in your 8th house. So somebody asked earlier about winning the lottery, because Jupiter can bring luck, right? Who will have the greater luck? Well, Pisces may be some of those people, because the 8th house rules money that you receive from other than working. It is money that you receive from, I always say these things, and so do all of us astrologers, but it is truly what these things, the 8th house represents, which is taxes, insurance, inheritances, money that people owe you, even is the 8th house. Money that is owed to you via like a lawsuit or a settlement is the 8th house. And getting money from other people some sort of way, even if it's crooked, although I don't encourage it. But hey, that could be 8th house too. Receiving money from family is the 8th house. Like, can I borrow money? Loans and credit cards are the 8th house. So if any of you guys are looking to get like a loan or some sort of like have your credit boosted, I have seen like people close to me, when Jupiter is in their 8th house, they get all these like approvals for credit cards, approvals for loans, for vehicles, for businesses, for houses, all of that stuff. So if any Pisces are trying to do that, expand in that way financially, with your assets in that way, like get a loan, this is definitely a time to, you know, get the ball rolling again. And maybe you can have better luck this time than when Jupiter was retrograde. So that's it, guys. That's Jupiter direct in Libra for all the signs. but that's not the end of the broadcast, okay? A couple of other aspects that are happening this week between the 9th and 16th of June are on the 13th, we have Mercury making a trine to Jupiter. They're both in air signs. So this is all about thoughts, thinking. You know, Jupiter's energy is higher knowledge. Mercury's energy is lower knowledge, like just very quick information that you receive. It goes in and it goes out just as fast as you read it. But Jupiter is like absorbing all of that and taking it in and using it, utilizing it long term. So this could be a really great transit for anybody who's trying to study for something. Anybody who's trying to study or learn something new, especially when it comes to mercurial things like learning languages and stuff like that. This is a very short-term transit though. It's only a few days, but just for that few days, you may have an advantage with learning and acquiring knowledge if you need to use that. And then also on the 15th, we have the Sun in opposition to Saturn. So Sun opposing Saturn is a little difficult. But also it's a very grounding energy, especially because the Sun is in Gemini, which Gemini, it's here, there, and everywhere, too many places at once, everywhere at once. And Saturn is an anchor, and it's like, Gemini, sit your ass down, sit down, focus on one thing at a time, okay? So Sun and Saturn opposition could be a time where you can focus on some tasks and like not be too bouncy and like, you know, try to multitask too much, but really focus very hardcore. And it's also good for learning because Saturn is in Sagittarius, higher learning. The Sun is in Gemini, which is also learning. Okay, so we've got these two aspects happening within a couple of days of each other. So learning, if that's something that you need to utilize, that energy is like, it's on fire for you right now, okay? So, but also just for working, especially if you work in like a mercurial type of job, like in communications, like in like, communications, anything to do with writing, like writing also. If you're a writer, next week is really good energy for you to focus as well. So that's the astrology for the week. So I will get into some celebrity coffee talk, a couple celebrity things right now. So those who are interested in that, stay tuned. If you're not, then peace, and I'll see you maybe next week. And don't forget to tune into your June monthly horoscopes for like even more clarity on the whole rest of the month, the whole entire month of June. And also my readers page on Astrologer where you can book a reading with me. Okay, so now on to the coffee talk. So as I mentioned, this is Gemini season, right? There's some great artists, late great artists, unfortunately, who have birthdays. You know, one birthday this week and one birthday the next week. So Prince's birthday just passed. Those who have been watching me for a while know that Prince is like one of my biggest inspirations in life. Okay, like I don't care about like, oh, he wore women's underwear and all that stuff. I don't care. I really don't. He's a big inspiration. Prince was a Gemini sun, but also he is a Scorpio rising and a Pisces moon. Prince also has Jupiter in Libra. And, you know, some people may debate on this, but I really do feel like even after a person passes, like you could see some things happening after their passing in their chart that affect their legacy or, you know, like affect their legacy. I think it still kind of lives on, you know. And this is a year where we are having like Prince, they're releasing like a special edition of the Purple Rain album. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to listen to it. Actually, my son is buying it. He's a big Prince fan. He got that from mom. He's a really big Prince fan. So he bought the album. He pre-ordered it. Like as soon as it came out, I was like, yes, son, yes. So, you know, this can be a year where Prince's estate can actually generate some more revenue. Because, you know, this is his Jupiter return, actually. If he were still here, it would be his Jupiter return, but I think his chart still kind of lives on. His spirit lives on. So yeah, a new album coming out that hopefully the revenue from it does go to his estate and go where he would want it to go. So Prince is a very interesting guy, as we all know. So, you know, let me just show you guys a little bit about his chart that made him an interesting person, and point out some significant things about some transits that really affected his life and some events in his life, and kind of explain those a little bit. So let me pull up Prince's chart for you guys and screen share it really quick. Okay, so here's Prince's chart. Bam. All right. So here we go. And this time of birth, it definitely seems correct. I tried to research and see where did people get this from, but maybe people actually did find his birth records or something. So, and just seeing how his life has played out, this chart is definitely legit. Okay, so he is a Scorpio rising. Okay, he's a Scorpio rising, a Pisces moon in the 4th house. Now, the Scorpio rising, this is why Prince was so overtly, outwardly, I'm trying to use a child-friendly word because my children are home. But you know, you guys know what I mean. That's why he was him. He was who he is, okay? Like wearing lingerie, his lyrics were the way they were in the early days. Actually, you know, the wearing the lingerie and the androgyny that Prince represented was so heightened back in the 80s because Uranus, the planet of androgyny and of the outrageous, was transiting through Scorpio. In the late 70s and the early 80s, it was here in the sign of Scorpio. And then it went into Sag, but that was still in his second house. I mean, his first house here. So that's why Prince did rebellious, shocking, because Uranus does rule shocking, outrageous types of things. And he really didn't care. He was just like, you know what? This is me. This is who I am. Yes, I am butt naked on a horse on my album cover. Yes, I am wearing some underwear and some long boots on my album cover. Yes, this is me, you know. And Scorpio does rule sexuality, so he was way out there with it, way out there. Had people questioning, you know, is he a woman? Is he a man? This is something that you won't understand. Okay, yeah, my singing is horrible. Sorry, but you know, that's why he was going through that period of time. And then when Uranus came into his second house and Saturn was in Sagittarius in his second house the first time when he was around 28 years old. Okay, so this had to have been late 80s, like, you know, remember in the late 80s and early 90s, he was going through some troubles with Warner Brothers over his record label and over his masters, owning the masters of his creations. Saturn was here in the second house of earned income, and it was his Saturn return. Okay, because the Saturn return, a lot of people already know about Saturn return. It could be a very difficult time of difficult lessons. So during that time, he did have some issues with finances, which the second house rules. All right. Now, Prince had Venus in Taurus. He had Venus in Taurus in the 6th house. It was said that he really did have a sweet tooth. That's just a little minor thing about him. He tried to, you know, try out some health kicks here and there, but secretly, come on, he had a sweet tooth. He wasn't all like, you know, strict diet and all that stuff. But anyhow, Prince has Mercury and Venus in Taurus. Now, although it's in the 6th house in the Placidus chart, I also go by whole sign, okay? And in whole sign, Venus in Taurus is opposite 7th house from Scorpio ascendant. So Venus in the 7th house, in the 7th sign, rules, it's like a person who loves beautiful people. For a man who is hetero and loves women, he just loved collecting beautiful women. Venus energy, especially in the sign of Taurus, it loves to collect. Taurus collects things, but the 7th house is people. So he collected beautiful women. He had them around him all the time. He always had to have a woman that was gorgeous as his muse on stage that he was singing about, and to like really tap into the energy of the lyrics of the song about a woman. He always had to visually see a woman, because this is like the sign of materialization. So he had to physically see a beautiful woman and sing about her and dance and, you know, be provocative with her to really like perform his best, it was cool, you know. So now here is what made Prince such a powerful influence as well. Pluto is here right on his midheaven. I mean, directly, look, it's conjunct his midheaven. This rules his public appearance. Pluto is all about transformation. It's all about the darker side of life. And it's an obsession too. So this is why part of his mission was here to show like just the darker side of life, you know, sexuality and all that stuff is just on display with this man, right? But that's why, because this is his public image. And he was powerful. And even though he was a tiny little man, I mean, I think he was like 5'2" or something like that. Like Prince is like my height. You know, a lot of women are like, oh, Prince is, you know, good looking, but he's too short. But I'm like, he's perfect for me. He's a little man, I'm a little woman, whatever. You know, he's still a good looking man, okay? So this is why, like, even though he was like a small man in stature, he was still seen as a powerful presence with what he did with his music and everything. So, you know, that's just a little bit about Prince. But his Pisces moon in the 4th house, it was it showed a lot during his later years, his last years of being here on Earth, because of the fact that, you know, the 4th house is your roots. It's your home. And it's kind of a Cancer-y energy. And Pisces energy, Pisces moons, we like to be in our own world. It's all about being in your own world, you know, this fantasy world in your head all the time. So that's why he created Paisley Park, the place that he lived. He built this like Mecca, like this big, you know, this place. It wasn't just a home. It was like a place where he could feel secure, okay, which is the 4th house, with doing his music. He had a studio. He had like a photography area, like a sound stage. He had a sound stage. He had people that came to make his clothes, tailor-made for him. He had everything that he needed at Paisley Park that he built for himself. It was like his own little bubble, his own little Cancer-y 4th house shell that he lived in. And he always stayed in his hometown. He didn't like, oh, you know, I think he had different houses in different places, different cities, but he always had home base, like the city and state he was born in. He was so like true to his place that he was born, you know, his hometown. And that's some 4th house stuff, you know, 4th house people, Cancer people, they're all about where they live. And that's where his emotions, you know, deep emotional bonds and ties were with Minneapolis, with Chanhassen, where he lived and he resided. It's where he felt comfortable. He would go out and do regular people stuff, go to the movies with friends, go to the grocery store and all that. But he did that at nighttime though. That's that Scorpio ascendant. Prince did that at night. You know, he went out when there was nobody around and it was safe. He wouldn't be mobbed by fans. You know, he refused to leave his hometown, 4th house moon, but he did that nighttime creeping stuff, you know. So that's a little bit of interesting stuff about Prince's chart. And, you know, also something that I saw in an interview by one of his friends that I found interesting was Prince, I guess he liked to run red lights for fun, you know? He really liked to run red lights and do like dangerous stuff. And I think that was his Scorpio rising, totally Scorpio rising, daring. And then he has Mars in Aries. So he was a daring dude, but he was very interesting. So yeah, that's, you know, happy birthday to Prince. Looking forward to that album, the re-release Purple Rain. So he's an awesome dude. Now, next up is Tupac. The Tupac movie is coming out next Friday, the 16th. And Tupac was a very interesting person as well. You know, he's very controversial. I know not a lot of people agree with his music or his messages and all this stuff, but you know, he's a Gemini, okay? And Geminis are all about duality. Just like Prince was all about, oh, Marina, I live where you live, girl. I just saw that. But Prince is all about duality too, like male and female duality. And he always said that he had another side to him that was a female, and he named her Camille. Okay, so, and he always like he acknowledged that he was a Gemini too, at least in like earlier years. He was like, yeah, I'm a Gemini through and through, you know? So anyhow, yeah, so there was duality there. Now with Tupac Shakur, there was also a duality to him. People would always criticize him. Why is he making songs like Dear Mama and, you know, all this stuff about like positive messages, but then he's over here with thug life and shooting and all that stuff. But you know what? There was that duality of Tupac. Both sides existed in him, and I really truly believe that both sides were actually truly him, but he just let them show at different times, you know? He was versatile that way. So let me show you guys Tupac's chart really quick. Just go over some interesting things about him. The movie's coming out. Let me know if any of you guys in the chat are going to go see the movie. I've heard some great reviews so far from a lot of people. So let me show his chart really quick. Let me screen share his chart. Okay. Okay, so here's Tupac. Now, we do not know Tupac's birth time. This is a presumed ascendant, like one of a few different ascendant signs that I intuitively feel that he may be based on watching him closely in interviews, watching his behaviors, mannerisms, how he speaks, tapping into his energy, listening to his music, watching his movies, all that stuff. I feel like he could be an Aquarius ascendant. Okay, now his mother had a stellium of planets in Aquarius, and we do inherit energies from our parents. So it's possible that he was an Aquarius ascendant with this chart here. Also, he has Mars in Aquarius. Now, Mars in Aquarius is why Tupac was a big time activist. He was doing activism in his own ways, of course, and would kind of go back and forth between things like a true Gemini. But he did preach a lot about activism, standing up for rights of people of any color. And I think he may have like said, even if you're like gay or something, like, you know, LGBT community. I don't think he completely stood up for them, but I think he may have mentioned some things a few times, like pretty much like leave people be, let them be who they are type of messages. So it's because Mars is the sign or the planet that rules like fighting and war and like really standing up for things and battles, and it's the fighter, it's the god of war. So his wars and battles were fought with you know, his words of preaching out about like stand up for your rights, the rights of people. And also Mars in the first house is why like is very fiery, like always getting into trouble and stuff. I feel like his Mars may have been in the first house because of, you know, the trouble that he always got into. It can attract a lot of conflict to oneself, Mars in the first. And see, his North Node is conjunct Mars. So his North Node, this is his destiny, right? He was destined to be here to fight, to be a warrior in some sort of way, have a fighting spirit. What in the world? Spirit. Have a fighting spirit. He was here to have a fighting spirit. Yes, he was. Now, South Node in Leo, what he carried into this existence from previous lifetimes is Leo stuff. Being flashy. That's why he could be seen wearing gold, or he did like a photo shoot of himself in gold, like a bathtub full of gold or something. It was a long time ago, like, or covered in gold chains or something like that. That's at Leo's side. But I also feel like his sun or Mercury, like he may have had energy in the 5th house, like possibly sun in the 5th house. He did have a lot of Leo stuff like radiating from him. But also, I feel like he could have had Cancer, Venus in the 4th house, maybe even Mercury. He had some Cancer energy in his chart for sure. Like I can feel it from him because he was so much like about his mom. He had that song, Dear Mama. Cancers, they really care about their moms. Their moms are saints. He even said, even though my mom was a drug addict early on, she's still a queen to me. And that is total Cancer, total 4th house. energy. But yeah, because he had Venus, Mercury, Sun all in Gemini, there was definitely a duality to him. He was very hot-headed because of his Aries moon. I feel like his Aries moon could be in the 3rd house or 3rd sign, adding to that Gemini flair, because he could just come up with songs very quickly on the spot, you know, full songs, just come up with them and be very fiery and just like finish them very fast. So that's just a little bit of Tupac's energy. And yeah, that movie, hopefully it does him some justice. Hopefully the movie's nice to him. Not all movies about people that come out and their life stories do them any justice. So anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit about the celebrity stuff. The last thing I was going to talk about is the movie, the Wonder Woman movie. When it came out last week, and I forgot to talk about it last week, so I'm going to talk about it now. So the Wonder Woman movie, the interesting thing about the astrology of the release date is the fact that the movie came out when Venus was still in Aries, okay? And you know, Aries is the energy of like a warrior because it's ruled by Mars. Venus is in Aries, conjunct Uranus, okay? And Uranus energy is all about, it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, you can do what you want. Like males could do what females do traditionally. There is no traditional male and female stuff with Uranus, right? It's androgynous. And I'm not saying Wonder Woman's androgynous, but usually females are not looked at as like warriors, you know, generally that's a Mars role, a man role, but Wonder Woman is like trampling over that, like, I am a woman and I am here and I'm going to kick some butt, right? So Venus and Aries conjunct Uranus, but also there's an asteroid, Pallas Athena, okay? And Athena was also, look her up in Greek mythology, look up her story, because that asteroid, it does have something to do with that Greek mythology story, is warrior. She was like a goddess of war, but also a goddess of like many other things too. But yeah, war and fighting. She had a fighting warrior spirit. So Venus, which is females, you know, the conjunction with those two celestial bodies, it really, it's like, yeah, the timing of things is actually right, you know, for this Wonder Woman movie to be released on a day where that, it wasn't like the exact conjunction, but they were all together, you know, in the same sign around the same degree. So I found that very interesting. So as you can see, astrology plays out in like the timing of things being released, movies, music, all of that stuff, which is awesome. That's why I love to show it. So anyhow, that was it, guys. That was my coffee talk, my weekly astrology. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm here every week, you know, at around the same time, every Friday. Here on Astrologer, and all the people that usually show up in the chat, you know, thank you guys so much for participating. I see all your comments. Love you guys. If anybody has anything, any celebrity stuff or headlines they want me to talk about maybe next week, leave them in the chat, and or leave them below the video once it's like processed and recorded. And also, once again, my readers page is on Astrologer. If you guys are interested in getting a reading with me, a consultation about you yourself personally, I would love to. I am offering Skype readings and recorded. So, and I also have something coming up that I'm working on with Lada that we will announce very soon. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's very exciting, very interesting. Maybe next week I'll be able to talk about it, but yeah. So you guys stay tuned for that. We're working on some really cool stuff together. So exciting stuff. All right. So peace out, guys. Have an awesome weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. Go check out your June horoscopes for the full scope of what's going on in June for your sign. Peace out.